All right, man. Yes, 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 yes. Sounds like you can hear me on YouTube. Appreciate you letting me know, man. What's going on? What is going on? Pause this. I like that music. I had someone tell me it sounds like death music. It's like, no, man. It's just mindset, man. Time to get your mind around. I hope everybody's doing well, man. It's reverence, man. It's not funeral music. It's reverence. So you can see what's up, man. Like you go in one of those old school churches and they start playing the organs and shit. Everybody gets quiet. They don't even know why. That's what's up, man. So this is saved on YouTube as always. Running a little late. I try to do them. Sometimes I take a Sunday off, man. I get tired of hearing my own voice at times. This right here, Money Flow Trading Societies, the Alpha Code, Unlocking Price Stock Market Movement, um, Beginner's Guide to Getting Started in Stock Trading, blah, blah, blah. So if you're in the MFG, you get this when you come in. So that's what I've had a few people ask me, what is it I'm showing there? That's what I'm showing. So pretty wild week this week, man. A lot of price movement, a lot of action, a lot of big movements. We've seen a market rotation. I was talking about that on my story today, man. The market rotates, man. The market rotates, and you got to try to stay in flow. Um, and to do that means you got to be watching all the time, you know. And one thing that I look at for flow, there's no exact way to know because people ask me all the time, well, how do you know the market's rotating? And it's like, pay attention to the market, like be in flow. That's part of what like watching the news is about. It's not to listen to them babble. It's just I'm trying to stay in flow. Back in the day, they used to call it tape reading. They used to call it tape reading. And if you do this with sports, if you've ever been really, really in sports, like really, really in sports, like you're in flow, man. And the more you can do that, the better, especially if you're going to be trying to quote trade. We're going to talk a little bit about that, the difference in trading and investing. Big difference. Sometimes we use those words interchangeably, but there is a big difference between trading and investing. This here, if you go to the Peters Report and you go to page 11, I do this thing called a trade of the week. There's not a new one every week. I just call it that because I don't know. It's kind of sounds cool. Then, I don't know. I like the way it sounds. It would be impossible to be like, oh, I'm gonna give you a trade every Friday or something. You'd have to start making shit up because maybe there ain't a trade on Friday. And so what that usually is I'm trying to find stuff that I think is safe. It's setting up. It's picture. I don't want to say picture perfect, but it's the pattern that I'm looking for. And it's not just the pattern. And if you caught my podcast with this day trader named Daniel, he trades very similar to Money Flow. He's a day trader. And I had him on and I had a guy say, why would you have a date? I'm like, bro, the podcast is about different ideas, different things. It doesn't, just because a guy's a guest on my podcast doesn't mean I necessarily endorse their trading. I just interviewed a lot of different people that maybe I don't necessarily do exactly what they do, but it's good to see insight in what other people, and sometimes you get a little nugget. And, one thing Daniel pointed out, if you listen to that podcast, and it's like, I know it, but I don't stress it enough. If the market is falling, well, let's say a stock is falling. This stock is falling. This is CVS Pharmacy. And it's falling and falling and falling and falling. The RSI here means a lot, but if the market is in a downtrend, man, that shit can just keep falling and falling and falling. The RSI doesn't do much for you when the overall market is in a downtrend, but to the upside, it does. And that meaning people are only going to overpay for so long. They'll do it for a while, but they're not going to keep doing it, keep doing it. At some point, they're saying, but they can't keep selling. They'll just keep selling if there's no sellers. I don't think I emphasize that enough. I know it. And then when he said it, I was like, wow, I don't know if I mentioned that enough. That, understand what the RSI is. And that's why it's so important. If you come over here, this is last week, so I don't have this current week up. But I do this usually every Sunday, sometimes Saturday, but let me bring it up over here on page 34. internet's going to load. I'll try to. Are you? Come on, man. We're going through this shit again. I will. I will try to look at where I think everything is, and then rank it between the Dow Jones, the S&P, tech. If we're going to try to figure out market rotations, then you got to get ahead of it, man. You can't just be trading tech stocks and feel like you're going to know when the market rotates. You got to look at bonds. You got to look at oil. You got to look at metals, gold and silver. Like all of these things are pieces and parts of the puzzle. And within each of those, there's all these different kinds of stocks. And those stocks all make up the 11 sectors of the S&P 500, like financials, consumer staples, all that kind of stuff, man. Utility stocks. And so we don't want to just be, this is one reason I don't like filters, man, because filters, you're filtering out a lot of shit you need to know, man. Like that stock may not even align with the current market rotation. You might be trying to buy a stock that has some filter set up, but if the whole sector is in the shit, it's not going up, man. So we got to step back and look at if we can narrow it down into which one is the one that's pushing. Well, if I want to trade fast money, I don't want to be trading the losers, the ones in a stage 4 decline. I want to be going after the ones that are moving, right? And so, well, that's different. Trading, that's different than being an investor. As an investor, I'm looking for shit that's not doing so well, but it's a good company, right? And so as we can separate these things in our head, I think it takes a little bit of maturity and a little bit of time to really understand the difference between investing and trading, and then be able to see both at the same time. Look at these money flow patterns, though. Now, for me, this is a pattern. Sometimes they're smaller than other times. And that right there is a pattern. They're not always as picture perfect as other times, right? So there's 2 money flow patterns. Stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. What is that? 2. Now, I don't know when this is going to end, and we'll know when it ends if we have a way to identify a stage 1, what I call a 1, and we have a way to identify what I call a stage 3, then that helps us build it out. And so as I'm watching price, I'm watching this. And no, I'm not trying to predict anything. I'm just trying to be in flow, man. I just want to be in flow in what is, not what, what may be or what might happen. Whereas it's just what is. So, and that's what all this is about. This is not about prediction. So when I sit down every Sunday, I'm kind of just running. This is last week, so obviously I'm updating it now. I start looking at my stocks, like where could I get some money from? Well, I want to sell. If I'm gonna take profits or trim, I want to sell shit that's overvalued, right? That this will be different if you're trading, of course. Okay, if you're trading, be careful. Trade your damn, investments and then try to turn your trade. A lot of times people will turn their investments into trades and their trades into investments. And it's like, no, man, you got to separate that shit in your head, man. So you want to kind of go through something like this yourself. And then I have ideas. Like you see where it says Building Joe. Well, I've been working on this coffee idea for a while. Why? The coffee market was pretty beat up, man. I'm trying to get in flow with the coffee market. Let's pull that up. So that's going to take time, as I watch. And, if you look now, we're up 8% in this. It's starting to run. But coffee had been technically undervalued. I have no way. I can't value commodities. I don't know what the value of Bitcoin is. Any number you come up with is just some shit you made up. Price is a social agreement. If you have my book, The Two Selves, How to Be 10 Foot Tall and Bulletproof, I talk about this. Numbers, these things are made up, man. Oh, a house costs $1 million here. Okay. That's just fucking made up, man. 409. That's just made up, man. 2 people got together and made that number up, man. That same house may cost $100,000 in Nebraska. It's all made up. The price of Bitcoin, $60,000, $12,000, $4,000. It's all made up, man. It's a social agreement. They're going to do it again this week. Federal Reserve's going to do an interest rate thing. They're just going to fucking make up numbers and move the market. A couple guys get together and decide to change the value of your home, man. And that's what it is. And so if we know that, I'm just watching, it's like, I'm not trying to predict anything. I'm just trying to stay in flow. Listen to this right here. I found this today. I was listening. It's beautiful.
When I was 2011, I picked stocks. I had the whole wrong idea. I was interested in watching stocks, and I thought stocks were things that went up and down, and I charted them. I read books on technical analysis. I read Edwards and Mickey. I think that was the classic then, hundreds and hundreds of pages. And I read that whole thing over and over again. I read everything. And 8 years, I thought the important thing was to predict what a stock would do and predict the stock market. And then I read.
You can't, by the way. Even as traders, we're not predicting. We're just playing. We're playing a repeatable pattern. Okay, big difference. Big difference.
Ben Graham, and I realized that I was doing it exactly the wrong way, but it didn't hurt that I had that background and everything. And I rejiggered my mind, and when I read the book, Intelligent Investor, and from that point, I never bought another stock. I bought businesses that happened to be publicly traded, but I became an owner of a business, and I did not care whether a stock went up or down the next day or the next.
What he's talking about there is not trading, okay? And he's not talking about trying to buy coffee and write it up and take it off. That's not what he's talking about. Right there, he's talking about investing. And so you got to separate investments from trading. And the quicker you can do that, man, the quicker you can do that, the better you're going to be at both. So like all of these stocks here on page 18, I make mine public. These are my buy and holds, man. Some of these I've held for I think the longest one in here is 17 years. I just buy and hold, man. This is what this is. But now I use the money flow to trim. Look, recently trimmed COP and added to KSS, taking profits from oil to add some portfolio yield and add to the underweight sectors in my portfolio. Recently, closed in fund, blah, 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 blah. If we go back and look, when I was saying that, ConocoPhillips, now this is a little bit of this is using some trading skills, but it's using these skills around this idea of the 4 stages of price movement. My computer would go. Man, we've had the fastest internet here in the last couple of days. I think it's because it's Mardi Gras season, man. And so it's and you don't need to read The Intelligent Investor. You just go read my book and understand the money flow, and you're going to understand what Buffett is saying here. So if you go back and look on that, on this ConocoPhillips, come on, man, come on. When it's what I believe to be doing a stage 3, right? Stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, right? And we're currently long oil a trade right now, right? So as I'm watching this, well, in my buy and hold, if it's overvalued here, I could take some of that down, take a little trim, take a little profit, right? I don't want a lot of money tied up in shit that's overvalued. You know, value could change. It's a social agreement. They might raise they might raise it. They might say, hey, company's done great, new price target 220, and then 320, and then 420, and then 820. But in the meantime, it's going to cycle. So as I see that, I could take some down with paying a lower dividend. And I started buying coals. Now you might be like, why coals? Well, I went out and researched. I like what they're doing. They're an underdog. They're not doing as well, but I think they can turn it around. I wish this would work with me. It drives me crazy, man. We wait for that shit to come up. So, and that's kind of what I'm doing here. So as I'm watching this throughout the week, man, I'm looking, I'm like, okay, these are stocks that I have that are banging the RSI. I want to go check and see what the value of the company is. So by doing this, you're kind of forcing yourself to stay in flow, to study your stocks. You know, how much is Freeport McMoran worth? How much is Hanesbrands worth? How much is Cody worth? What about Spotify or, Bitcoin? I mean, can we even price it? Like, if we can, we want to know that, because if it's still undervalued, maybe I don't want to trim as much, or maybe it's overvalued and I want to take some of that gain off. I want to keep a core position, but now I could take that gain and go start a new position in something that I think has a better potential for upside. Stock chart's giving me problems. It's it's he said you added to Bitcoin recently, but it looked like a stage three, right? Because you got to understand how Bitcoin runs, man. Part of the cycle. Bitcoin can run on a 70 RSI for a fucking month. It could run that way for a while, man. And I got no charts. Are you kidding me, man? Thinking it's because it's Mardi Gras, man. I can't get any goddamn signal. What's up, Nick? We're going to give this a second. So as I'm watching that and I'm watching my stuff, that idea, that concept of trimming a 3, adding to a 1, that's what Buffett's talking about there. You'll see he's like, as he owns stocks, he's going to say, I don't know where they're going. I own a business. So if I have investments in, say, Pepsi, I don't know where the stock price is going. I have no fucking idea. You know, I can look at it and see if it's overvalued or undervalued. And based on that, I might want to do something. But if I'm trying to build a position in a stock, I would just wait. And when it comes down, I let it set up. I start nibbling. And that's what I'm doing, just going forward, right? And so as I build out my list here, what's up, Chris? I'm just banging these, right? And so this keeps me in flow. And it's like, okay, it also forces me to go research them. You know, how much is Hanes Brands worth? And you know, and then these are the stage one. So as I'm watching this pattern, right, of this pattern development, and I'm seeing stocks that I own in my buy and hold, and they're coming up on these stage ones, you know, it's like, okay, cool. If I got new money to add, I'm trying to build out my portfolio, right? I'm targeting those. But as a trader, you know, you got to ask yourself, okay, if this stock is coming down, where's the overall market? Because if the market's going down, I don't want to buy it. As a trader, if I'm trying to trade, like I want to make money this week trading, then what I'm trying to do is trade in the direction of the primary trend, right? So if you notice all this week, man, I've been saying like, watch Bitcoin. It's not that I'm like some Bitcoin maximalist bull. It's guys, it's doing the best of all assets on planet Earth right now. I don't know where it's going to be in a year, 2 years, 3 years, but right now, it's crushing it. And so if you look like laggard cryptos, which means if I know the wind is to the upside, then if I can just go and start looking for laggards. So if the market's going up and I need to find laggards, right? That RSI will have more value because the actual market is going up. So then if I can find stocks that have, you know, messed up, missed earnings, broke off, because the wind is going up, then that makes these stage ones much more valuable. If the whole damn market is going to downtrend, these stage ones, yeah, you can buy them and you could add to your, you know, accumulation positions, but, you know, trades, it's probably not going to work too well, man. Matter of fact, you probably, well, I don't want to get too off track there, man. Let me read you something here, man. So if you have my book, The Two Selves, How to Be 10 Foot Tall and Bulletproof, on page 8, I love this, man. It says, chaos to cash. Success is always organized chaos. And that's what this is. The market is chaos, man. When it opens on Monday, it's like chaos. You're going to have old people, and you're going to have 16-year-old day traders and 80-year-old grandma. And their orders are all hitting the ground, man. And some of them are hedge funds and insurance companies and algorithmic traders. It's fucking chaos, man. It's like all over, man. And everybody's trying to interpret something. And here comes us, you know, rolling up in there. Success is always organized chaos. The world and the universe are perfectly balanced. The planets never collide with each other. The roots of the trees are always long enough to stabilize the trunk. The sun never gets too close to the earth. And the rivers and streams always lead to the sea. Fact is, nature has a very crafty survival system. It is a system that eliminates the weak from gaining too much power and authority. To protect itself, it purges anything that can't handle the pressure, people included. Nature does this to make sure that the strong will be around to assist her in keeping everything in order. That's why you'll hear me play that purge song sometimes. That's the market, man. People are getting purged. So, no, we're not selling Bitcoin, man. Listen! Holy sheep shit. We're not selling Bitcoin, man. We are not selling Bitcoin. You could take some gains on it for sure. If you were trading it as a trader, yeah, you might want to, unless it's in a runaway. So now we get into the nuances. How do you tell a runaway stock? You ever hear me say I'm not selling? So remember I said don't sell your Tesla. Don't sell it. Why? I'm in flow with the market, man. I'm in flow, man. So I can feel it, man. If we're moving, look at this. We're rocketing, dude. It's going up. And yeah, we could trim, we could take some off. We typically do when the market hits the 70, especially if you're trading, right? You want to take that down. But sometimes you can just, if I think I said when I was trimming there, I would trim just a little and let it run, man. People should search for Gerald Peters. What the fuck? All right. They said we should search for Gerald Peters. Let's do that. Let's search for Gerald Peters. Let's see. What comes up if we search Gerald Peters? If my internet would work. We won't boot Susan. Susan, man, come on the live, man. Join us in church, man. Tell us what's up. Come on in, Susan. You be my first guest ever. You be my first guest ever, man, on Sunday service. Come on in. Let's search Gerald Peters. Oh, I spelled the name wrong. What is going on with my internet, man? Hey, Susan, why you here? Put your name in so we can search you. Oh, nobody knows who you are. I forgot. You ain't got no posts, no books. You ain't put out shit. It's hard to search on you, girl. We don't know who you are. Hiding behind your little name, pointing out other people. Unsearchable. Nobody even knows who you are. Oh, let's see. Gerald Peters. Well, there's a rich dude named Gerald Peters. I tried to get him to sell me the domain name. He won't. He's an art dealer. Oh, look, there's me doing some crafting the other day. What else comes up? There's some photos, Gerald Peters' YouTube channel. Hey, there's the podcast with Getting Rich with Gerald Peters. So far, it doesn't even look like it asks for money, man. Look at that. Go to Amazon. Susan, your book ain't on Amazon, man. Where's your book? Let's see. No, I don't see anything, Susan. So we searched it, man. Give me other suggestions. Maybe I put it in wrong. I don't know. So back to the money flow. Back to what we're here. Apparently it's a scam. It's a scam. You're like, what do you mean? So let's check. Let me look at my scam for a second. Hold on. Where's the, let's go over here. Wow, they're killing me on this internet, man. We're going to check on the scam. See, the problem with that, Susan, is I document it all. It's like right here, man. I post it, and then I actually record it and save it for you. I guess my internet's going to kill me today. Come on, man. What is going on, man? Yeah, I know. It's a scam. I'm only up 56% on the year trading. Some of my guys are up even higher, and it's like, I guess I scammed you into a bunch of money. That's a weird scam when they scam you and you make money. What's up? What's up, Dan? So, yeah. There ain't nothing worse than going live and you're on here and your internet stops working. To just mess up everything. I've never had these problems here in New Orleans, but recently I have, and I don't know if it's because it's Mardi Gras or there's something going on with my internet provider. So, as we look at let's get back over here. So as we look at this pattern, and I've told the story a bunch of times how the pattern really came to me. Stan Weinstein put it out, and he did it mostly on the weekly chart is what Stan was looking for, and it dawned on me as a trader if we could shrink that time frame, and I'm sure other people had thought about it. I hadn't come across anybody who had, and then as I began to study that, I began to realize that how fractal everything was, A fractal's a never-ending pattern. Fractals are infinitely complex patterns. Remember I said it's chaos. Stock market's chaos. Infinitely complex patterns that are self-similar across different scales. They're created by repeating a simple process over and over again in this ongoing feedback loop. And the feedback loop is each day we get a new set of data. Market opens, runs up to the high, runs down to the close, and then the market closes. And so we get a high, a low, an open, and a close. And that's a little piece of data that goes into our ongoing feedback loop. And all these things we use, like, my day trading friends using VWAP, and, if you're using moving averages or the MACD or RSI, all of this every day we get a little piece of chaos, the low, the high, the open, the close. And that goes into our ongoing feedback loop. But as we collect these over a period of time, we can begin to see patterns or pictures. And no, we don't know that it's going to do one thing or another, but we just know what it looks like. And the simplest way I could say it is like you walk outside and it looks like it's going to rain. You don't have to be a meteorologist. You're like, fuck, man. Why? Because that's what it always looks like. Well, same in the stock market, man. You'll see stuff move and it'll look the same. On this Tesla, if I could get my internet to work, one of the things that I wanted to talk about, why we, like I had a guy that asked you, well, how'd you know that was the bottom? I didn't know that was the bottom. But I know what a stage one looks like, and I know what the boxes look like, right? So as I'm watching the pattern, where's the market? Wow. Everything is down for me. It's like, where's the market, man? And so if the market was in a downtrend, I wouldn't have been trying to buy Tesla. But that's not the case. Bitcoin's flying, guys. That is the risk parameter. Bitcoin and Ethereum take off. It's fucking risk on. That means penny stocks are going to fly. Everything's going to fly if that shit's flying, man. And so that tells me, okay, if Tesla's getting smashed, at some point it's going to be too low. And we're in an uptrend, by the way. Market's in an uptrend. So that makes me be able to trust that, to me, that stage one becomes, a much better play than if we'd have been in a downtrend, then trying to buy Tesla would have been not a very good idea. It wouldn't have worked at all. So back to my friend Susan. So I try to log everything, man, and I try to show it. So and use this research, man. I don't know if you guys ever do this, but go back and look on these days, man. Like, challenge me. Go back and look and be like, all right, 12/16, close UTSL. Why do you do that? And go look at the chart, man. And if you look at the chart around this, and if you can make a distinction between is he trading? And if he is, what kind of trade? Scalping, day trading, quick plays for options? Is it a swing trade, position trade? And then we could get into what, buy and hold, and there's that helps you interpret this. If you don't have that down, if you don't have your time frame down, then none of this is going to make sense to you. What's up, Kirby? So, come on, man. What is going on? I don't even know how I'm online on YouTube, man. Am I still online? Yeah, I'm online. This is crazy. I don't know why this shit's not working if I'm online. All right, maybe that's a good sign. So let's look back to the CVS one here. I was trying to do that, and then when they took me down, it fucked up my roll. Between stock charts and Susan, if that's your name, that's some fucking. I got a feeling who that is. I got some haters, man. Like, I don't know what's up with the haters. I guess if you ain't got a hater, you ain't doing nothing. If ain't nobody stalking you on Instagram, man, you probably ain't doing much. All right. Don't worry about my browser, man. I didn't ask for tech support. All you guys. Listen, so as we look at this, oh, there you go. Everybody's, I don't need a bunch of feedback on why it's not working. As we look at this, and we all know what support is, right? It's one of the foundational principles of all trading, right? We can see the strong levels of support. And where's the market? It's in an uptrend. Market's moving up. What about this stock? It's gotten banged. CVS Pharmacy pays a dividend, fell below. So we got technicals lining up. I got my stage 4 decline. What's up, Joe? And then I got my bottom. You're like, how do you know you got a bottom? It's a bottom right there. You can see it, right? I don't know why I can't draw, man. I'm starting to get pissed. Man, why do I got to get mad? Let's see. Come on, man. I think I need to restart my computer. We ain't gonna worry about that. Just get throttled here. Yeah, Susan didn't want to go live or talk, I guess. I Googled me, so I don't know what I was supposed to find. Maybe she made a page on me or something. Maybe something to do with your browser than the internet. I know. So, yeah, it's something to do with something. God damn it. How do I get your course? I don't know. Click your fingers. How do you think you get it? Fucking click your heels together and spin in a circle and say there's no place like home. Do that shit 3 times and these monkeys will fly in and bring you the course. How do you think? Oh, LA Fit Chick shows up. We ain't seen her in 5 months. Now you're going to show up, man. You're supposed to be in the Money Flow gang. We don't even know who you are anymore. We don't even know who you are, man. I guess you're too busy. Let's see. So CVS, man, CVS was setting up. There's our back in the box. Now we got support. Now we're at the thing. We got our anchor point. I can't draw on my chart, so that's kind of cool. What's up? I'm just teasing, man. Just calm down. But it would help if your ass would show up every day. That would help. Maybe you're too busy to look at stocks. Oh, I'm so busy, Gerald. I got such a busy life. You don't understand. I'm so busy. Go back to Buffett. Listen to what Buffett said. Everybody's so busy.
When I was 11, I picked stocks. I had the whole wrong
11. He got adults. I can't do it. He's a kid. He's 11.
idea. I was interested in watching stocks, and I thought stocks were things that went up and
Right. He was interested. See, you got to be fucking interested. So if you're not interested, it's going to be hard for you to do this, man. You got to be interested, meaning like breathing. You know what I mean? Like you got to actually care. Everybody's interested in eating. Why? Because you get hungry. All right. Now it looks like I'm back. So my anchor point is the very, very, very bottom, right? Very bottom. And you say, how do you know? Because it's the very bottom. Like you just keep waiting. It's going to do it, man. It's going to put in a bottom. And then what am I looking for? I'm looking for price to build a box of like 4 days. And this one, we see it right here, where we got our box right in here. So if I'm watching this pattern, let's see. I'm just kidding you guys. I hate how this works. Yeah, so we got the same thing looking at King. Now we got our box, man. Got a box. And if we look, this is the beginning of the stage 1. And we have the wind at our back, right? Where's the market? Market's going up, man. Market's going up. It's above the 20-day moving average. And we know our triggers, the 5-day moving average. I mean, if I can get price over the average price of the last 5 days, that's all a moving average is, guys. It's just like a moving trend line. It's a social agreement. It's just a way for us to visually, it's nothing magical about a moving average crossover or any of that shit. Actually, when the moving averages cross over, it's a period of indecision. The market's conflicting, it's fighting, it's pushing. and you got, the bulls and bears are arguing. So what I'm trying to do is be in flow, not predict or I. So as I watch CVS Pharmacy as a buy and holder, I'm like, cool, right? I'm getting it on sale. I'm getting it below value. But if as a trader, I'm like, shit, I need to pick up a few shares in my buy and hold. But as a trader, maybe I drop this time frame down. So, right. So now I get down, okay, as we're watching this, let's drop down to the 15-minute chart. If we can get internet, that would be nice. What ticker? Don't worry about the ticker, man. Don't worry about the ticker. That's not your problem. There's a lot of tickers. Problem is, what are you going to do with the ticker? So watch this. This is CVS on that 15-minute chart. Now watch. If you see a stage 1 setting up on the daily, guys, and you guys want, I get it all the time. You think the money flow can help me with options? I don't know. What do you think? Are you trying to buy them before they go up or sell them before they go down? Well, then, yeah. So if I'm watching this and I see on the daily a stage 1 setting up, and if I drop this time frame down, what happens right here, man? What happens right here? All of a sudden, I got to stay. Really? Anyway, all of a sudden, I got a stage 1 and a breakout on the 15-minute chart, man. You see how that just did? The money flow. Like you watching it on a daily, you got the setup. Market's in an uptrend. So the wind's at our back. So if I'm a trader, I want to trade this shit to the upside, right? If the wind was blowing to the downside, I'd be looking to short it. And it'd be the opposite, right? If I want to, quote, trade, right? So as I'm watching the daily setup for that stage 1, I could drop my time frame down looking for my trigger. Well, there's my trigger. Bam. And then look at it run, man. Now, I don't know that I would day trade this, but I'm just trying to give you insight into how time can help you, man, as you begin to watch these things. We've been doing, the market's been so, I want to say, I'd like to say easy. It's been really easy lately, man. It's been really easy. And so, that's when you got to hammer down and take advantage of that shit, man, and trade that as aggressively as you can, because when the money's easy is when you want to get it. That's why you got to get above fear and what everybody's saying, what everybody thinks, this recession, this and recession, that. Man, that's for the masses. You ever hear me say that? I'm not in a fucking recession. That doesn't apply to me, man. I'm in flow with the market. So if the market wants to go in recession, good. Let's do some shorting. Good. We can use it to add to our buy and hold. Good. Good. Go up, down. Who cares? Take it where you want to take it, man. Whatever you want to do, man. Fuck it. Take it to zero. Like if that's what they want to do, man. Now, some of you get scared. Oh, I got to get out of the market. And it's like, man, if you understood the money flow at all, if you could expand, man, you need that, man. Best thing that happened to you in CVS pharmacies to get this down, man. That makes sense? So, look, work great here, work great over here. But what about the guy that bought up here? If he bought up here, down here, he's like, oh, and it's like, yeah, stop being selfish and see the big picture, man. It ain't about when you got in. Nobody gives a fuck when you bought a stock. Nobody cares, your mother, nobody. It don't mean anything, man. When you bought a stock only means something to you, nobody else. Because if you bought it up here and now it's down here, you don't like the stock. Next guy comes in and goes, wow, what a bargain. Hello, if it's a bargain for him, it's a bargain for you. But sometimes it can't be a bargain for you because you're comparing it to where you bought it. And that's why people can't get into Bitcoin, because they bought it higher. And then when it came down, it fucked up their mind. They can't see that this is a train, baby. When do you want to get on a train and when do you want to get off? So why don't you just stay on the damn train? Stop trying to get on and off. And if the market makes you nervous, here's an idea. Get some trading skills, man. So if we can see the stage 1, and if it worries you, and you learn, like I learned how to buy some puts or I learned how to short, well, we got a sell signal right here, man. And if we go look and the market's in a downtrend, well, we could, how complicated, a lot of times though, people are trying to get fancy and complicated too soon. Oh, I want to trade options. It's like, man, you don't even know what the 11 sectors of the S&P are. That's usually I'll ask people, do you know how many sectors in the S&P? And they'll go, I don't know. Then you don't need to be trading options, dude. Get your shit together. Like you need to study and learn, man. Then this will make sense because your options trading will make sense because you can see the big picture and you understand how the markets are moving. And you're not in there buying call options when the market's going down, right? Then you're going to start to trade in a way that makes sense. Let's see. Yeah, but there's people like I paid $200 for Roku. You know, okay. If you learn to trade, you can trade around shit. I paid 50 something for Lyft, and now I'm in the green, and it's $15. How's that possible? I can trade, so I can trade around the position. You know, so you can, you know, once you learn these skills, man, you can do so much, man, so much. What is this? Stand bam. I call it tape reading. Yep. Tape reading or being in flow. It is a beautiful thing, man. Did they give me my damn thing back here? I didn't want to go along anyway. I did want to emphasize in where's it at? I don't know why I clicked that. Yeah, I think I'm having some browser problems, man. Come on, man. So if you are short term trading, let's say you are, that's fine. That's fine. What happened? Listen to the moon. It went up, man. What do you mean, what happened? People bought it. That's what happened. And a money flow told you the exact place to buy it, man. So that's what happened, man. Like it went up. A lot of the EVs were going up. Tesla went up. So what does that mean? Like Tesla's the win. So when it starts going up, all the other EVs are going to follow, right? Bitcoin's going up. Look what happens. All the other crypto coins are going up. When the S&P goes up, what? All the other stocks go up. Like once you get that concept, man. But let's say the S&P's going down. You're in here trying to trade to the upside. You're going to lose. You're not going. It's not going to work, man. So you know one thing. If you're in Discord with us, we call it Fast Money Channel, but I just don't like the term day trading because it's not what it is. But you know, most people use that term wrong, guys. Most people day trading are trading, you know, quarter of a million, half a million. They're in and out. They're catching little ticks, 5 cent, 10 cent, 20 cent moves on these very low time frames. Well, that's not what we're doing there. But if we take this TQ, you know, we can see our breakout day, right? Price broke out above the green line, the 20-day simple moving average. That's our sign that price is now moving higher. 20 days is representative of 1 month of trading. If price is above the average price of last month, that's the basic definition of a trend, that price is moving higher, you know? And so as price moves up, if I know that, and I know I got first target doesn't come into right where it stopped. See where it stopped? Right there at 24. So from here to 24, right? I know we got what? Smooth sailing, man. We want to trade to that direction. And if we take this down, we've been doing the 15-minute in there. I can't alert on these. They move too fast. I'm just trying to show people for examples, but let's let this pull up. What is going on, man? I think the 20-day EMA is the key. It's the foundation of the money flow, man. And we could argue, you could say 18, 19, you just, whatever. Like you pick whatever one you want to do. I think a lot of it is what is it you're going to be consistent on doing. That's the big thing, man. I guess I'm just not going to get internet today. What the fuck, dude? Yeah. Go through here, man. Go through these and start looking at some of these moves and say, okay, why did you do it there? I have no idea, man. I'm about done with it though. And try to figure out, you know, why is that happening? Like, why are you buying there and why are you there? And you'll see it's inside of that pattern of the money flow, inside of this here, where I'm looking to see, what's the ranking, what's strong, are these moving up, are they moving down? And that allows me to then say, okay, I got these stage ones, but inside of these stage ones, where's the index that it's in? Are they moving up? Or are they moving down? And as I'm trying to watch sector rotations, meaning catch on to like the stocks that make up the sectors, like a lot of the pharmaceuticals have been coming down, Pfizer, Amgen, right? A lot of the consumer staple shit like Johnson and Johnson, Pepsi, Coca-Cola. You're seeing these come in, man. Campbell's, right? You're observing those. Those are the dividend stocks that were the hot runners. Do you notice they're coming down? And Bitcoin and Tree and Uber and Lyft and SoFi, these things are running. Well, where do you think people are getting the money to buy those? They're over here. They're tapping them. So they're taking profits off of those big gains and they're getting money to start buying that. They're trying to get ahead of the Fed. Now, if the Fed comes out this week and hits them with a higher than expected interest rate, you're going to see a total shit show. It's going to get bad quick. But we don't know that, man, and I don't actually worry about it. Is the money flow a course? Yes, sir. Click the link, man. Click the link, man, and then read it. Get your shit together. Rattlesnake groan. Yeah, it's EMA, but whatever. EMA, SMA, we can, those are little things, and I think it's whichever one you're going to use consistently. And I would encourage you this week as you go through, if you trade with me, you know what B&B is, we call these bread and butter trades. These are no brain, dude. These are so easy. I could run a hedge fund just doing these. Like I love this. Sometimes people are confused how to use it, and you can use it how you want to use it. I just call it that because of the technical thing that's happening on the charts. The move that's happening on the charts is lining up in a certain configuration, and I called it bread and butter because like bread and butter, it like worked all the time. It's the basics, bread and butter, like basics. Okay. Let's get this guy out of here. And we got rid of that guy. So, that's what that is. I just try to be aware of them. I'm not taking every one of them. I'm just showing, if I wanted to, these are great for trading. They tend to move slower, but they're great stocks for trading. Then I have ideas. So I want to get ahead of my ideas now. I don't want to be like on Tuesday reacting to some shit, man. I want to already know. I'm not going to do anything spur of the moment, out of the blue on Thursday, like all of a sudden start. No, man, all that shit needs to be planned right now. And so if you look on there, this was the other day. This is the old one. This is last week's. I got to put mine up. These were moves that I was looking for, man. So as I watched that, oh yeah, it finally came up. This is the cues on the 15-minute. So if we're in an uptrend, this is what I've been trying to just drive home this fractal nature of the stock market. Since the cues are in an uptrend, when I get these overbought zones, oversold zones, these overzoned zones, this is opposite of the trend. The trend is to the upside. Market's moving higher. And doesn't that look like a money flow pattern there? Sideways, up, stage 3, stage 4 decline, sideways, stage 1 breakout. So if I'm a short-term trader, day trader, swing trader, what am I looking for? I'm looking for days that open red. You ever hear me say in Discord, I hate green opens? I hate green opens. If I look and the market's up 400 points, like, fuck. Because you can't trade it right. It's not giving you an entry. So if market opens up, the last thing I want to see is up. I need to see it down like 1 or 2% at the open so that I can actually implement these things. I can't do it when it jumps. So I don't want the market to open up. And often it's going to sell down. And if I'm a day trader or a short-term swing trader, the last thing I want is the market to open up. Now, if I'm in a bunch of positions, that could be a way to capture some liquidity. As soon as it opens up, you take some money off. Does that make sense? But this here's a 15-minute chart of that. So if I know the cues are in an up and you guys want a short-term trade, you don't need to look at anything else, man. Just watch this every fucking day, every tick. Just watch it day after day. I bet after a while you'll be in flow with this, man. You know, you don't need to worry about earnings. Other people ask me about earnings. I don't give a fuck about earnings. What is it? What are you going to do with it? Not get in the stock? Okay. I don't trade stocks like that. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm not trading giant positions ahead of earnings. Like, I don't do that stuff, man. So that's not my thing, man. So if I'm short-term, this is an index, whatever, earnings or whatever, So you'll see it just drifts higher, man. That's the money flow, man. That's the money flow right there. That's what you're looking at. So that shows you the fractal nature. Money flow is going to give you whatever you want. And it's all trading styles, no matter what they're doing, man. The one thing Daniel brought, I don't trade like Daniel exactly, but he did bring this idea of simplicity and keeping it simple and blocking out the noise of what's going on. Now, I do go look at earnings after the fact. Like, we got to get into Hasbro. Like, why did Hasbro, why did it go down, man? So I need to go read and understand. And I can't do that from a Twitter snippet or, 120 characters. They missed earnings. I don't even know what that means. What do you mean they missed earnings? What do you mean they beat earnings? I don't know. And sometimes people will be like, well, it beat earnings, but the stock went up. And it's like, yeah, because the market doesn't give a shit about what happened in the past. It wants to know the future. So if you beat earnings and then down and then say, hey, we're not going to do as good going forward, the stock's going down. That's just the way it works, man. So don't let that stuff confuse you. And sometimes people are like, well, no, it doesn't make sense. It's like, yeah, it does. It never did make sense, man. It's called chaos. The market has never made sense, ever. There's never been one fucking day ever where it wasn't manipulated and that it made sense. Ever. Because they put two people there. And those people trade based on fear and greed, not logic. They're not doing shit based on logic. They're not reading economic reports and trying to formulate nobody's doing that. Nobody's reading and looking at M2 money supply. That's rabbit hole shit after you've been in the market for long and you're like, oh, M2 money supply. And then you're watching these fucking conspiracy videos about money supply. And somehow you're going to translate that into being a trader. It's all fucking nonsense. It's all nonsense. Because it doesn't work based on logic. So you could sit around and formulate all the logic you want. That ain't how the market runs, man. It can totally discount all that shit and just go up for the next 5 years. Go ask Peter Schiff, man. Go ask these guys that have been perma bears. Go ask them. They can be wrong for years. In the meantime, I need to trade. In the meantime, I need to get dividend collection, right? So it's not logic. But Hasbro got smashed. I do want to go find out. Remember, 3-day rule, stock comes down. I want to go find out why. And Intel too, right? I want to come find out why. And I don't want to buy on the first day. And I want to start watching the money flow and looking for my entry. So if I go read on this, everything's good. It's not the end of the world. Company's just in a bad spot. All right, cool. Now we're going to use the money flow. We're going to wait for our stage 1 setup. We're going to start to execute on it and add to it. Does that make sense? Yeah, man, good stuff. I'll give you one that I'm expecting. I'm expecting Dogecoin to run. And I had someone say to me, yeah, you're buying Dogecoin? It's like, yeah, I'm buying it now because nobody wants it. You get that, son? When everybody else wants it, I don't want it. When they're asking me about it, I don't want it. I want it when they don't want it. I want to buy Bitcoin when you don't want it, not when everybody wants it. You got to get on the other side of the register, man. Does that make sense? You got to get on the other side of the register. Does that make sense? Intel went down because Intel didn't go down because of earnings. Intel went down because people clicked the button. It was goddamn algorithms. They didn't read those earnings. They can't read. You're telling me in 8 seconds they read that and understood it? They don't know shit. They just started clicking the button because they read the headline. This is how stupid people are. These are computers, guys. These aren't rational people using logic, moving. Nobody's using logic buying. None of that, man. That's just headline reading, and a computer's in there. So your stock goes down because people sold it. Period. And it goes up because people bought it. And then you can, after the fact, go make up some fucking reason and go, well, I don't think it's based on earnings. And, investors are worried about the possibility of the Federal Reserve, and we're still uneasy about, and there's rise in the possibility of exports from China. And you just make up all kinds of shit, man. And every day they do this, every single day. Well, today investors were nervous. I wasn't nervous. Who was nervous? I call around, ask my friends. CNBC says investors were nervous. Were you nervous? He's like, no. Well, who was nervous? Nobody, man. They just made that shit up because the market went down, meaning they think there's a reason. There ain't no reason. They just sold it, because everyone's got a different reason, man. So there is no one reason. So we should also buy real estate when no one wants it. I guess, yeah, if you don't want to be a dipshit your whole life, that would be a good idea, bro, to buy it when nobody wants it. That's how you get it cheaper. Duh. Like, sit and think on that for a second. Like, think on it, man. When you want to buy real estate, when everybody's buying it, flipping houses and all that stuff, and now we're going to run out and do it. Oh, I'm going to take an equity loan out of my house and start flipping houses. Yeah, go do that. Watch what happens. Man, you got to get ahead of this stuff, man. Get ahead of this stuff. Be ahead of it, man. Don't chase the crowd, man. Everyone, like Lucid. What about Lucid? Fuck Lucid. Give a damn about Lucid, man. It's too late. It already went up, man. So what good is it going to do? All right, let's go talk about it. Let's just waste our time looking at a stock that went up. It's already up. There's nothing to do. I used to go crazy about this. Like, people would ask me about things that were already rocketing. And it's like, why? Why? If you weren't in it before it rocketed, it doesn't matter. And if you're looking at it now, then guess who's the sucker at the table? You. Right? So if I woke up and this stock, we already got the buy signal, man. We don't even need to talk about it. There's your stage one. There's your buy signal. And then it went up. And it's like, what about it? What about it? Sell some. RSI 78. Manage the trade, man. It's too late. But if you're looking at it now, you done lost this game, man. So yeah, I don't like that stock. The hell with that stock, man. He says it was a pump and dump. You don't know. You have no fucking idea what it was. You have no fucking clue. None. None. You have no idea what it was. You don't know who bought that. Give me the name of someone that bought it, that dumped it. You don't know. Just making up shit. For all you know, it could have been a hedge fund from China. It needed a bunch of it, man. We don't know, man. It could be made up. We don't need to know, man. All this stuff like dead cat bounce, bear market rally, that's all bullshit. It's going up, period. You get what I'm saying? There ain't no such thing as a dead cat bounce. That's dipshits talk for on TV, trying to explain things. There's no bear market rally. It was a rally. It hit a stage 3. It stopped going. It went sideways. Now it's coming down. It was a bear market rally. What does that even mean, man? What does that mean? Oh, it was a rally and a bear. Okay, so I can't trade the rally? What does that mean? Like what I'm supposed to do? The other one that I get all the time, dude, is the volume. Who gives a shit about volume? What does that mean? We're not going to buy the breakout because the volume wasn't there? I don't care about volume. Could have been 2 people. 2 people could have broke this out. That's a breakout. And then 4 people took it up. I don't care. Who cares? Look at this volume right here on this last day. And my man's pumping. Ain't no pump and dump. Stage 1 breakout. The money flow told you it was going up, man. Right here was your buy signal. Now it's breaking out. It's doing what it's supposed to do. Go up, man. Now it's going up. And this went up because of Tesla, by the way. It didn't die. What are you talking about? Right here, man. This damn thing is up 100% on the year. So is Tesla, by the way. Almost. Let's see. So a lot of stuff, man, that you hear and a lot of these things, it's all nonsense, guys. Do you watch insider selling? No, man. Insider selling is, who gives a shit? So a guy that works at a company gets divorced. He's selling his stock. What are you going to do? Run over and sell your stock because this dude got caught in an affair and he's having to sell his shit. Now you're over here selling yours. Like, I mean, who cares, man? You don't know why they're selling their stock. They might have to for tax purposes. You know, when Elon was selling shit, Elon selling the stock set us up for a 70% gain, man. Like, good. I'm glad he sold it. Right? Who cares, man? Seriously, you're going to read it. You're going to be like, oh, this is the insider. Like this guy here, you don't know why he's selling it, man. He might have to sell it for tax purposes. He might be trying to put his kids through college. Insider buying, that's a different conversation. That's more important, man. Most stuff is just nonsense. BX was a great trade. Of course it's a great trade, man. It was a bread and butter. That was another one I put out. Like, everybody should be on this BX, man. Look at that. He made 7K on the TSL. That's beautiful, bro. That's beautiful. So, a lot of things, man, that you hear people saying, I'm honest, is just, you can go read it for fun. If you just like reading shit, it's fun. But you're not going to extrapolate anything out of that that's going to mean anything, you know, these volumes and this and that. And, you know, you're just not. What do you think? We don't talk about stocks in church, man. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you, man? He ain't even bought my book and asking questions. My internet's bad. So for me, it's just this, man. This pattern here. I guess my internet's going down. Now I'm back. Now my internet's back. So you get what I'm saying? Like, be careful with all this stuff you hear people say, man. If the market's above the 20-day moving average, it's moving up. You know, could it be a rally in a bear market? Yeah, I guess. Whatever. It is till it isn't. And then when it keeps going, they're going to be like, oh, hell, look at that. It kept going. And if you didn't take it because you were, quote, in a bear market or something, man. I heard so much of that stuff here. The 20 crash, I don't want to say the word, that it was a dead cat bounce and all that. Don't worry about that stuff, man. Learn this pattern here. Learn the fractal nature. No matter how you trade, no matter what your entry ticker, you know, your entry, no matter how you set your targets, this pattern is going to play out, man. And it's fractal. So we talked about that as you simplify. And if you listen to that, there was a lot to that last podcast in a sense where Daniel talked, do I scalp? Man, I ain't got time to scalp, man. I got to work, bro. No, I ain't scalping. All these dudes that they claim to be influencers scalping. Fuck out of here. How do they have time to do anything? Like, you're sitting there scalping and you make content and you're a great marketer and you're this and you're that. No, I'm not a scalper, man. Not a scalper. But you can scalp. Same thing, man. This is scalping, except on a lower level. You would drop down to a 1-minute chart, man. Or whatever level you want to scalp on, man. I don't know why you'd want to do that, though. That's a crazy way. So much easier ways to make money, man. In my opinion. I know some people like scalping. Not my thing. It's better than money. But I guess it depends on what you're defining, too. Man, that's about all I got. The internet throttling me here has kind of killed my vibe. But if you don't have my money flow book, get it. Dig into that section on the moving averages. Some good stuff in there. And start looking, man, and get separate, man. I can't stress enough. Separate your buy and hold from your trading and get real clear in what a trade is versus what a buy and hold is, and be able to do both simultaneously. You know, you need to be able to do both at the same time and understand the difference. He says, my question is, Bitcoin on a 4-hour chart looks like, yeah, that's what you think it's going to do. Now, don't misunderstand it. Sometimes people see this and they think it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. No. It can go 1, 2, 3, and then break out, which makes the 3 a 1, and then it's 1, 2, 3, and then go sideways, then break out 1, 2, 3. It doesn't have to go down. Just because the RSI is extended doesn't mean it has to go down. It can work it off with time. I mean, a lot of people trying to short the fucking market because it's going up. It makes no sense. What are you doing, man? Makes no sense. Yeah, Zim is a long-term play, man. I'm not trading. If I was trading out, I'd already been stopped out. Let's look at that real quick, and then I'll get it. Maybe it'll work with me. I know you guys are scared of Bitcoin. Yeah, don't think stocks have to go down because they went up. They don't, man. Really? Yeah, like Tim said here, having a different account keeps things separate. That is a good strategy, man. From my understanding, because they keep waiting for a massive crash. Those are dipshits. You read too much, bro. Look at this. Look at this Bitcoin running. Look at this beautiful run here. They don't know, man. All these guys calling for. Let's pull up. That actually, dude, is actually just the biggest waste of time sitting around worrying about crashes and what it's going to do. You just trade what the fuck is in front of you. That's what you do. And track it and stay in flow and be where you're supposed to be and manage your portfolio. Don't worry about what might. It's a complete waste of time because you have no idea. You're just guessing. Why this is moving so slow. Do you prefer E-Trade? Yes, I do. Yeah, so look, beautiful. So this is what I call a runaway, man. So on the stage 4, like he said, it went up and then it went sideways. It got a little down, bro. It broke it. And then it went sideways and then look, everything turned up. You got all your signals. MACD turned up. That tells you it's turning. TSI cross. Bam, we ran again. And then look, did it again. And then it ran again. So, there we go. We're breaking out right now. All right. Marco doesn't know me here. Marco says there's a golden shower on NVDA, bro. That's weird, man. Why you bring that up? Oh, Golden Cross. I'm sorry. Let's see. Golden Cross. Let's look at the Golden Cross. But Gerald, it's cold. You know why it's called a Golden Cross? If I could get. Bro, if you're waiting on golden crosses and inverse head and shoulders, you're fucking late to the party, bro. Get all that nonsense out of your head, man. Next thing you're going to be talking to me about Fibonacci ratios in the Elliott wave of the 5th wave of the 4th cycle. Fuck, man. Get out of Scientology. Let's see if this thing will ever put up the Golden Cross. That's when the 50-day crosses the 200. I don't even have that stupid-ass thing on here. Let me put it on here. Oh, here we go. 50-day moving average. Let's see what it does compared to the money flow. Okay. Now, following this golden theory of the death cross is even better. The death cross is when the 50 crosses the 20. You're going to die. It's called the death cross. So right here, I guess that means it's bullish. 50-day moving average is crossing the... Now, all of this is bearish. Okay? So I guess we can't trade it. I don't know what this means. Or I could follow the money flow. Stage 1 looks like it's over here. There's my breakout, and we ran up, and there we go. So, yeah, this 50-day thing that a lot of you guys use is complete nonsense. What good is this? Look at this line. What is that line doing for anybody? And it one day, this takes me back to Daniel's podcast because I used to have it on because everybody did. And I had it there because every great trader had it on their thing. And I would still use the 5, 10, 20, but I would have it on there. And then one day I'm like, why am I doing this, dude? I'm buying right here. I'm buying right here. Right? And then it goes up and it comes down. And when it goes through the 50, they're like, well, that's bearish. Until it stops. Then it's a stage one. It starts to go sideways. What am I not going to buy it because it's below the 50? So that would be a buy, and there's a breakout, and now we're running up, man. So, yeah. All of this stuff, man, to me is just nonsense. Head and shoulders, cup and handles, pennants, bear flags, all YouTuber bullshit, in my opinion. I whenever I get on there, oh, this is a pennant band flag and a bear flag and it's moved. What does that mean, man? So I know what it means, but what does that do for you? So if I say to you, oh, it's a bear flag. Okay. What are you going to do then? Not do it? So I don't know. What if it's a bear flag with high volume? Oh, wait, what if it's a bull flag with low volume on a full moon? Or, wait, what if it's after a 33% retracement on a low volume after a cup and handle, but it's above the 50? You see what I'm saying? So what the money flow does for me, this is just for me speaking, it eliminates all of that bullshit. Earnings, insight, like all that stuff, man, whatever. I know when it's going up. It breaks above the green line. Simple as that. That's it. And I know it's going down because it went below the green line. And you say, where's it going? Where it went before. You get it? Now we could lay moon cycles on here. I've done that. I've taken an entire course on laying moon cycles over the S&P 500. And there's times where it hits like right on the money, man. It really does. But, it's like, okay. So that's my opinion of almost everything in technical analysis outside of the money flow. It really is, man. Everyone's got to come to that conclusion on their own. And maybe that's why I don't have any friends, because I make fun of their stuff. No, the green line is the 200, man. The gold line is the 200. Gold line. Anyway, man, you guys have good. I went on a little thing there. I got all jacked up because my internet wasn't doing well. I hope that helps. Keep in mind, think about the fractal nature. Think about where we're at in the cycle. Think about where the overall market is. Work on your entries. Get together what stocks you're going to add to this week, man. Figure out what you're going to add to and then add to it and then just let it come at you, man. That's what I would do this week, man. It's going to be an exciting week. The Fed's going to talk. We're going to see what happens, and I don't think it's going to be boring, man. If you got some gains, nothing wrong with locking some in. He said, yeah, the actual moon. Yeah, the actual moon. Actual moon. We're going up. We're going to keep going up until we don't. That's where we're going. We're going up, man, because we're above the green line. So I'd look for CVS Pharmacy to trade higher this week. I don't know. Hopefully we get some red days. Hopefully we start opening in the red so we can make some plays, man. I got some crypto play. I'm going to stop talking to people about crypto, though. It's all crickets, man. I'm going to stop posting that shit. Keep that to myself. I'm not posting any more penny stocks either. I'll put it in the newsletter, but I'm not going to talk about them. Too easy to move them. Let's see. Brian Jones. 200 MA. What does the green line represent? Click the link, man. All right. Well, if you guys are still interested, I'll keep them going, but it doesn't seem like there's much interest in it. I like them. Let me know on that, man. Maybe I think I'm going to clear that list, and then we'll just have people opt back in. And then we'll do it that way. That's what I probably should do. I'll just clear that list because every time I text those out, it costs me money. So if you're on my alert system, if I send you a text, it costs me money, man, like $10, $12 every time I do it. So let me know. All right, man. You guys be good. I appreciate you. All right, YouTube. Man, I got to figure this thing out. I'm going to have to update my computer, I think, or take it down because, man, nothing throws you off more than when you're doing something and all of a sudden you do not have any internet. You're standing there with your hands in your. Yeah, WIC is just in an uptrend, man. You're good on that. You know, if this is going higher, penny stocks are going higher. And if we go look at some we had looked at before, BNGO. This is one I've been watching. It hasn't ripped yet, but it's one I'm watching. I don't trade, but I like your style of motivation. I like dividend stocks and selling options. Blue collar bullion baller. Nice. Appreciate you, man. Don't forget, though, you will trade those stocks because you will die and someone else will get them. So life is a trade, man. Don't forget about that. Everybody's a trader. We just have different time frames. And if you're a buy and holder, if I teach you some trading skills, you will be much better at buy and hold. You might even beat the market. If we could perfectly time your entries, your taking profits, your entry, learning trading will make you a much better investor. Everyone's a trader. They just don't get paid for it. Everyone's in real estate. They just don't make any money at it. Everyone's in the stock market. They either collecting dividends or providing the dividends. Everyone's in the money flow, man. Don't forget that. We're all in it, man.